Hi, Chet Gunnis here with Youth Enrichment League, where we engage youth to think, learn, and play well. Today we're talking about what chess level is my child?
Now king c5, and there's another.
Look at the centaur.
This is a frequently asked question we get from parents all the time. What kind of class should I sign my child up for? What level of class should I sign them up for? What does this rating number mean? How do I get it higher? How is it calculated? Lots of questions like that. So we're going to talk about that today for a few minutes. Thanks for joining me. So I'm going to point us to, first of all, our chess blog, our most recent one called What Chess Level is My Child? And we're going to come at this from two different angles. The first one is what does it mean for Youth Enrichment League classes? Which class should you sign up for? And the second one is, what does it mean for the United States Chess Federation? How are these ratings calculated? So two different ways. The first thing I want to show you, though, is this table that's on this this blog here. The first right here, I want to point out we do the rating numbers are based on a chesskid.com rating system, which is very similar to the United States Chess Federation. CXR Chess uses it. Lots of chess software uses it. So that's what the number that we're basing it off of is chesskid.com, though. If you're in the 0 to 600 rating level, you're really an absolute beginner. Either you're just learning how the pieces move, what capture is, check, checkmate, that kind of thing, or you've learned that, but you're making errors early on in the game. For instance, you're bringing your queen out too early, you're losing it. You're developing only your pawns at the beginning of the game. Things like that could keep your rating a bit lower. And these are things that we talk about in class often. The next number is 601 to 800. And there you're still a beginner, but you have some beginning knowledge, and you're making good moves at the beginning of the game and the middle of the game, and maybe you can recognize checkmate a bit more easily. A quick note, the 800 number, when you join onto chesskid.com, you're assigned a rating of 800. We feel that's a little inflated, and a beginner has a lot of room to go down, and going up is going to be trickier for an absolute beginner. So just be aware of that it's sort of an inflated number, and you'll get where you need to be after some practice, some lessons, and just continuing to play chess online. The next number, 801 to 1000, this means you're past the beginner level. You know the basics of checkmate, like I said, piece movement, capture, castling, the rook ladder checkmate pattern. You're at that point. You understand all of that, and you're starting to get into the intermediate level where we talk about king queen versus king checkmate patterns. I can identify the 4-move checkmate, you can conduct it, and you can defend against it. That's where you're at when you're at this 801 to 1000 level. Then we're going to get to the 1001 to 1200 level, and that you're definitely at the intermediate level at this point. And at this level, you're starting to bridge over to learning double checks, discover checks, smother mates, back rank mates, things like that. Now, when you get to the next level, 1201 to 1300, you are at the intermediate level, but you're also approaching the advanced level. And so you're really going to start focusing more on specific openings, for instance, the Gioco Piano or the Roy Lopez, really specific. The Four Knights game, you're going to delve deep into that. That's a common opening that we teach our kids, but then we go from there. That's actually a beginner opening that we teach. And then you'll also be digging into more end games. Rook versus pawn endgames, bishop versus rook endgames, things like that. Then when you're in the 1501 to 1600 level, you are probably among the top 2 or 3 players in your school at that point, and probably among the top 10, 20 in your school district. You're a really solid player, and you're starting to get to a nice high level. The 1601 to 1700 level, you're probably among the top 2 or 3 in your district, and probably among the top 20 in your state among kids your age level. And so, but when you get to the next level, 1701 to 1800, that's at a point where you should probably really consider getting into the United States Chess Federation, attending USCF rated tournaments. You're a really solid player. You're passionate for chess, and you've put a lot of work in already at this point, or you're just naturally gifted. So now it's time to take it to the next level and start playing against stronger competition more often. And 1801 plus, I just put a little joke in there, hey, if you don't cross this child in the dark alley with a chessboard. So just being silly. All right, so let's go on here. So we did talk about two different things we're going to discuss today. The chess classes, YL chess classes, which I've kind of touched on, and then the United States Chess Federation rating and how it works. So first of all, with our classes, we have 4 online classes that we're doing right now. 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. And 1.0 is for beginners, kind of what I talked about before. And you really need to understand piece movement, capture, check, checkmate, piece value, and the rook ladder. Now, if you want to understand the rook ladder better, this is a good way to test whether your child is ready for 2.0. If they understand this mating pattern described here, the rook ladder, then they're probably really close, or they're at the 2.0 level. And then the next one, the second puzzle is just against a more aggressive player if you want to see how that works. But if you want to try it out for yourself, click here on this little link right here, and that takes you to chess.com and actually takes you to that exact setup position against a computer, and it's set at the maximum level. Don't worry about that. You can beat this. You can beat any computer with this checkmate pattern, so don't worry about that. Next, we go to the 2.0 level, and in that we are introducing basic opening theory. For instance, center pawn opening, knights before bishops, castle early, things like that. Don't develop your queen too early. Then we're talking about forks, the king and queen checkmate pattern, which you can see below. And then you really have to know the 1.0 pattern lessons really well to get here. If you look at the king-queen checkmate pattern here, I've got a little slideshow, which you can just scroll through to give you an idea of how it works. Or you can actually go to, again, here's the puzzle. You can click through that, or you can click on this link right here, and that will take you to another setup position. And just so you know, if you do want to change the level, I can't quite see, you can change it down here at the bottom. This little robot guy right here, you can change it right there. Oh, I don't, maybe you can't see it on mine. Yeah, so click on that, and then it gives you these different personalities, and you can click on a different personality. This is his rating, 250, so he's an absolute beginner. Here's his rating, 700. He's approaching the intermediate level, so it gives you an idea of where you might stand. So, and it's a fun pattern to practice. It's worth practicing again and again and again, because a lot of times you get just a pawn. You're ahead a pawn at the end of the game. You convert that or promote that pawn to a queen, and then you do this pattern. It's very common. Then we get into the 3.0 level, and at the 3.0 level, we're, like I said, talking about discover check, double check, pawn squares, smother mates, etc. And again, I have some puzzles here for you, the 3.04 smother mate check worksheet, and you can work through this with your child or have them work through it on their own. And if you have questions or if you need the answers, just email me at chet@yelkids.com. That's CHET as in Tom, chet@yelkids.com. And I'll send you the answers. Good. And then with the 4.0 level, really when you're at the 4.0 level, you're at a point where you need to have in-depth openings, master level game analysis, and Nathan Hoover runs these classes, and Nathan is a national chess master and a former state champion, state open champion, and he's great at endgame practice, master analysis. I can't do master analysis. You need someone who's a master to do master analysis. So Nathan is great with that, and he's great with kids. Wait till you meet him. He's awesome. So he's a good guy to talk to. And you can see as we go down to the table down here, you can sign up for Nathan. You can book an appointment with Nathan here. The next thing I want to talk about is the United States Chess Federation ratings and how they work. First of all, the USCF is the governing body in the United States. And to attain a USCF rating, you need one, or A, to purchase a USCF membership, and that varies based on your age. And then 2, you have to play in USCF rated tournaments. And some of those entities require memberships as well. So for instance, if you play in a state tournament, that state affiliate of the USCF might require an additional membership fee. So there are some fees involved here, but it's the kind of thing where once you get that rating, it follows you as long as you play chess in USCF rated tournaments. So it's pretty good. That formula that they use is also used in entities like chesskid.com, chess.com, CXR Chess, and we use all of these entities for our classes. We use chesskid.com for our tournaments, and we use chess.com for practice puzzles during our lessons. We use CXR for our in-person tournaments. And they're all good. They're all good. So, but here's the basics. If you just want to know the basics, it's right here. If you win, your rating goes up. If you lose, your rating goes down. If you win versus a stronger player, then your rating goes up higher. If you lose versus a much weaker player, then your rating goes down farther. So it just kind of makes sense. Of course, it's more complicated than that. Draws, you have to figure that into, but that's just the basics of it, right? So now a word about chess ratings. Don't get too focused on them. Sometimes kids get like, oh, I've got my 1200 rating and I don't want to risk it, so I can't play in this tournament. Oh no. Or I got my 1200 rating and I lost 50 points in that last tournament. Oh no. Don't worry about it. It's really not designed to give you a metric of how good you are as much as it is a way for the tournament director, the chess tournament director, to pair you against someone of an appropriate level. So for instance, if I go to a chess tournament and I'm a hobby player, I'm a 1200, maybe 1300 player on a good day. Nathan is a national master. His ceiling was like 2300 or something, or close to 2300, something like that. So he's a much better player than me. If I go to a tournament and I am paired up against Nathan, I'm going to get slaughtered. And I'm not going to have any fun because it's going to be over so quick. And Nathan's not going to really learn anything because it's just too easy to win a chess game against me. So they put me in a group of 4, 8, 12 players that are in my same rating category. So that makes it a bit easier for me to see how good I am, or I'm playing against people of my own mettle, my own experience level. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't take it too seriously. Good. Then last thing, what do you do next? Where do you go from here? Well, we do offer online classes. We'd love to see you in any of our online classes. We offer chess, coding, magic, and guitar. Chess was very robust. We have tons of curriculum, and we have 4 levels right now. We're developing a 5th, kind of based on how our 4.0 students do and how quickly they progress. We also have in-person classes where available. And if you don't have in-person classes available in your area, then reach out to us. Again, email me at chet@yelkids.com and let me know if you are interested in maybe bringing chess to your community. Maybe you want to purchase a YEL franchise. Maybe you just want to get something started and you need some tips. Email me. Let me know what you're thinking. Love to talk to you. All right. Thanks for joining me today on What Chess Level Is My Child? And we hope to see you at a YL class soon. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Now king c5, and there's a knight.
Look at the centaur. So cool.